and Destined to Remember is back. I am Anthony from the Touring Fan Live, Dave from livefootsteps.org, and Randy from... Whoa, is something going on over there? Randy, you okay? What the hell? Oh shit, I guess Randy unplugged something from our Live on Four Legs podcast. He, that was very Kermit the Frog-like. Let's see, make sure he can hear us. Can you still hear us?
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was never actually here, but I am back.
We are back. And it's interesting because it's been a while since we've been together. We were supposed to have a show in the midway point, just didn't work out. Now we're back. The tour is over. And I feel as though this is the greatest three-headed monster when it comes to breaking down stuff. And let me explain why. If you've never tuned in before, I am the one that probably makes fun of things, rips things apart, looks over things, yabbity yabby. Randy is the guy that finds the passion and the love behind all the things, brings in the fan perspective of stuff, and then you have Dave, who just is the almost like the what's the word I'm looking for? What was that guy? That scientist back from like the 80s and 90s that knew everything about everything, and like you'd watch them on TV. Come on, everyone.
Bill Nye?
Bill Nile. He is the Bill Nile of science.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye. Yeah.
I'm calling him Nile. Bill
Nile.
Of Pearl
Down the
Jam.
Nile.
That's right. Stats and facts. So, but we're here tonight, and we're going to be talking about the 2024 Pearl Jam tour as it wrapped up. We might even talk about some rumors that are consistently being spread across all things of our social media. Once again, everything that we talk about tonight is of our own opinion. It is nothing factual that's coming to us from the band or anyone. So take that with a grain of salt. So don't go ahead and calling the 10 Club tomorrow saying, well, hey, Dave from livefootsteps.org told me that you guys are going to be playing in San Diego on July 13th, 2029. Not true. All right. So with that being said, I am going to hand this over to... Well, you know what? I'm going to give it to Dave. Dave, how's life going with you? For you?
Very well. Yeah, things are going well. You know, people came to the site during all these shows. You know, I think things are being going well.
Well, that is fantastic. And you were able to see them in Boston, correct?
I did. I saw both nights in Fenway.
Great. And we'll definitely be able to talk about that. All right, Randy. How's things from you? Also, it's just really weird. If you look at the screen right now, it's almost like a fucking, like, it just goes downhill. Like
I know,
higher,
I'm seeing that too.
And then it's literally just a downhill, like, roller coaster of things.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, stand up straight. I can't.
Do you need some, telephone books?
I can't do much more.
No, I'm not hunching over anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. You want me to move back? Nope, that doesn't do it. You want to move forward? Nope, that doesn't it barely does it. I'll be the short one. That's okay. Fine. I'll take the hit on it. I'm doing all right. I really loved going through and watching the shows and paying attention to the stuff this year. We had 37 of them. That's a pretty healthy amount. And especially Australia, you think, hey, this is in completely different time zone. It's happening at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But I found myself, like, first thing when I woke up, looking at those set lists and looking to see if there were videos and finding reactions and things like that. And I got really, really into it. And it was a lot of fun. And I almost wanted to just be like, up at that time just to look for live streams and stuff like that. But yeah, I really hope an announcement of some sort happens soon, because I don't want to go too long without knowing what the next destination is.
You're having withdrawals already, aren't you?
I mean, I wouldn't say withdrawal. It's, I don't know. It's difficult. When you're making content, like, you get a content high, not a contact high, a content high.
Content high. I think you were going to say a cock high. I was really confused. There's a lot. Well, this show went from Pearl Jam to porn real quick. All right, so talking about the Pearl Jam and how it goes through, it is interesting how the last time they toured, there wasn't much buzz about the next step for them. Like, I don't recall the last time they toured, like, hey, rumors flying about music being played or even being recorded or even dates being kind of thrown around. I feel as though since Australia, even during Australia, with the rumors of them recording music in Australia, which I talked last night about, and kind of start up rumors with that. Hence the disclaimer and beginning of the show. And then also with the dates that kind of been passed around today, I've seen a little bit about, and then also with the idea that the band has said on many shows, including Australia, that they would like to play Australia again as soon as next year. Now, realistically, the shows in Australia did much better performance-wise and financially than it did in Europe. Europe shows did not create the financial stability that the band was hoping for when it came to ticket sales as it did in Australia. Australia was fantastic. And if you look at photos of it, I mean, it kind of falls in place with that. Now, some people will disagree with me, but if you look at a lot of the, I guess, the online ticket sale sites that talk about, concert sales compared to seats being used and not being used and being resold, Australia was just as high, if not higher, in some of the states that they played in the United States and even in Canada. So Australia was, I think, almost like a buzz for them, like that dopamine hit they needed to want to continue to play. So I think with them saying these things, I can see them doing that. And you also have to remember, too, majority of their kids are now old enough where they're kind of doing their own thing. So I think it makes things a little bit more easier for them to want to be able to go out on tour than these last probably 10 years where their kids were much younger and they want to be around their lives. That's just my opinion. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I really think that with Australia, them skipping out on all these years and the COVID and everything like that, like they have that fan base there. And like, yeah, there's the US fan base, there's the Australian fan base, European, like Europe. I don't know why things were so low for those venues. It's just like, it's like they didn't put any feelers out there to be like, oh yeah, we're missing us kind of thing. And man, like they lost out on, I think, a hell of a lot of money on those resales and everything. I mean, they tried to not have resales in the US, and I don't know. And were there any shows that you guys went to that they were like, wow, this place is empty? Like I thought it was going to be empty at Fenway, and it was not empty at Fenway. And I'm like, but wait a minute, there's like so many tickets out there.
They did not fill the GA at Fenway. I will say that because I was down in GA for Fenway 1. They did not fill it.
So I do, from my understanding with the GA at Fenway, and the reason why they didn't really do GA before in Boston in general, there is a rule of spacing and exiting so that it doesn't cause mass chaos, and it's one of the stricter states. And I think that is why Fenway never filled up and there was more space in GA. I always preferred seeing, and first of all, I'm a big, Boston guy. That is, here nor there, but I always enjoyed Fenway for the simple fact that I like that you didn't have to wait in line to get good seats. If you had good seats, you knew your seats. There was no GA. It made it more enjoyable. You could enjoy the city, enjoy the people around it. I've done GA a bunch of times. We've talked about this in the past. It's just so much work to do GA. But I think the biggest problem they had with Fenway GA was there was a lot of space between the last person in GA to the rail to the first row of the seated area. Would I be wrong in saying that?
No, not at all. I mean, my GA story was not one where I had a ticket initially. I was gifted a ticket and gone in. And when we got there, we were, I see you've caught on. When we got there, we were like in the back because we walked in probably about 10 minutes before they were about to go on. And I'm just like, why are we not complete? This is open. We have all this open room, which was great. It was great to not have to feel like bodies were on top of me. That was awesome, but we were all the way in the back. But, for moments where Mike would go and run all the way onto the side stage, you'd run all the way to the front and you can get within inches of him at that side of, I wouldn't call that, it's rail, but I wouldn't call that rail. It's not like right in front of the stage, but it was all open. All that side was open. So for the idea of just, enjoying the show there and going there and, just being with your friends, because sometimes in GA you got, all right, well, you were like 19th in line and you're all the way over here and your friend is 379th in line and they're all the way over there. I had 3 other friends with me and we were all just in the same area, and it was nice. It was nice to have that. But you know, we weren't. It wasn't like we were close to anything but GA, but we were able to make, you know, at the end of the show when Ed ran over and did tambourines and stuff like that, we were able to get close-ish, and I had a great time. I had a blast there. I want to just say something because I don't want to get this lost and it's on my head. I'm going to go back to Australia for a second. Um, I don't want them to get into the same situation that they got themselves into in Europe this year, because it's very possible that that can happen now that you guys have brought it up, because all of their shows this year happen in stadiums, big
Mhm.
stadiums from 50,000 to 70,000 people. And my thought is that if you go back in 2 years, because it's been 10, it had been 10. 2014 was the last time they were there. So the Australian fans were hungry for this. They are a passionate bunch. They
Mhm.
will travel, they will go to those shows, no doubt. But I don't know if you come back so soon that you're going to get, because I had a lot of friends, the people that did the reaction episodes with us, they all went to all 7 shows. And you'll still get some of those people, but I don't know if people would be willing to do that again if it's the same structure. Now, there are places in Australia that they did not hit. They did not hit Adelaide. They did not hit Brisbane. They did not hit Perth. They can go back to Newcastle if they wanted to. So there are opportunities where they can mix it up a little bit and go to some local areas that didn't get to see them this time around. But if you do Melbourne, if you do Sydney again, I'm wondering, and you know, I think it's a little bit of, I, I said that I've said it before with especially London. Was there fatigue coming from that show? I maybe the I'm talking about the Hyde Park show because there were so many people there, and maybe it didn't pull in the kind of crowd because people just didn't want to travel like that for this past year. And if they did, they ended up not getting what they wanted because of illness and everything like that, which is unfortunate. But I think that you just have to be careful. You just have to be careful. I will say that now that I'm kind of talk myself out of it now with Sydney, because I feel like if you play that kind of show that they did the last night of the tour there, people are going to come back, or they should come back.
Sure.
But I think you need to be cautious with that. You need to be cautious on how you spend your time. I think before they start thinking about Australia, you really got to think about South America first. You have a crowd in Argentina that didn't even get shows in 2018 when they were supposed to. You got to go back to Brazil. You got to go back to Chile. You got to go back to Mexico. And they haven't been to Mexico in almost 10 years now. It'll be 10 years if they go back in 2025. So I think that is priority. Even I would even put that as priority before going back to the States, but especially because they seem to like to go there around Marchish. That's when those Lollapalooza festivals happen down there. But I would just be cautious on going back so soon and not getting the same result, because that did happen in Europe.
Well, you were definitely reading what I was putting out there, especially when I was talking about Australia and the thing, because I think playing the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is one of the largest stadiums in Europe, and getting to the point where they were giving tickets away, it's scary, right? Like, it's scary for the band. It's a financial responsibility, and there's a lot of people that are coming through this that work for the band that they have to pay for, and they're doing these things. I do wonder though, and this is and Dave, I'm going to post this question to you. Um, if they tour again next year, do you think they tour with the same stage setup they have now, or is it going to be something dumbed down? Because I mean, the amount of production work that they have to put into that stage and the time it takes to take up and down, um, it's a lot of work. So I'm curious to think, would they just do something simpler, go out there and just play? It's a non-album tour. They go out and enjoy it while they're finalizing whatever they're doing, and then they do another tour? Or do you think it's just going to be Dark Matter 2.0 going through?
I really don't know if they're going to do that. I mean, unless they were putting a lot of production behind even some more of these visuals and everything, and that was all behind the scenes, and we haven't seen that kind of stuff. If they start putting a lot of production into that, I think they're going to be putting a lot more. They're going to continue on with a lot of the stage visuals if they started, pumping out stuff for that. And, everybody's like, oh, they're going to play the sphere and stuff like that. Like, oh, who cares? If it happens, it happens, whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, if they really think that people are going to come in because of visuals and stuff like that, and they already started creating it, they're going to have some kind of a visual thing, but I don't think they're going to have such a huge stage, like the left, the right, the curtains coming in together and everything like that. Like, I think they're going to have like, a dumbed down stage, a big screen just behind the stage, not left, right, and everything like that. And like have this whole big production. Yeah, they might add a few songs here and there with some more production for the graphics, but like people are saying, oh yeah, well they had to pre-plan this stuff for the set list, and they're like, really, if they're gonna change the set list, just change the damn button to change the song.
Well, the guy who even designed really, all the layouts even said that they hadn't even tapped into all of the different things he had done, because he had done visuals for a lot of the songs that never even got played on this tour. And
if that was all done and they're doing more of it, then yeah, they're going to have more visuals. They're going to have a stage. But yeah, that was, I think, a little bit overproduction with a whole huge stage that took up like, I mean, what was it, Fenway? It almost seemed like they were going to project on the freaking wall over in the Green Monster.
There was a couple of songs.
They really should have. Yeah,
they would have been cool. There's a couple of songs.
It's like Pink Floyd, The Wall,
Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah. I just feel like when they should have done something with Rats. How cool would it have been for them to play Rats with a bunch of rats all behind them, or even like Given a Fly, and it's just like like soaring through. Like there were just some things I'm like, man, you're playing this song, you have this fucking amazing thing. Why are we not doing anything with it?
They did cool stuff for Given a Fly with the drones shots that was happening in Missoula. That also happened every night in Australia, where they were doing like local area shots. Really cool stuff. Yeah,
I did not know
you should
that.
go back and check it out.
I guess I will. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hang up right now, and I'm gonna go back and watch. No.
It's worth your while.
It's worth. But so let's talk about, while we're talking about stage production and the way it is, we've seen many tours Pearl Jam's put out. We've seen where they've really were simplified, where it's just them on a stage, where they started adding props on stage, where they started adding kind of theater to it, especially during like Bush Leaguer and things of this nature. So we've seen like the band consistently progress. Me personally, when I look back at all the tours, I've always liked the balls. Like when Eddie used to swing on the ball, Mike would break it, like that was just so much fun. That was a good time, and I loved the lights with this. And then you also had like the bird above them with like the trash, all like the metal bird and all that stuff. So there's been a lot of different variations. So mine's always gonna be the balls. What is your favorite stage that you've seen the band on, Dave?
It would be the balls with Lightning Bolt tour and everything, and that was fun, and also because that was the only show that I actually got pit, so I was right up there, like third row, like just to the right of the center with Eddie. I'm like that, and swinging out there, he's almost like swinging out towards us, like that. That was a cool tour.
So you telling me you almost got Eddie's balls in your face? Is that what we're talking about? All right, Randy, what was your out of all the production and the stage setups you've seen, what has been your favorite so far?
The orbs are cool. I call them the orbs. It's a lot less funny when you say Ed's orbs are in your face, but I've called them the orbs before. Those are fun. They're not known for really a lot of stage production. A lot of what they have done has been very sparse. They like to put the emphasis on them and themselves. Mm-hmm. One of the stage setups that I've really liked, I believe you can see it anywhere from like 1995 through 1998 or so, is that they have like these little towers in the background with like the dimly lit candles. And I really, really like those. They kind of look like oil rigs. They like oil towers almost. And I like that look because sometimes there was like a screen behind it, but the screen wasn't playing any videos. It was just like a white screen that kind of showed the shadows of it. And that I like that. That was enough to be like, okay, this isn't going to be a flashy rock show, but they're it's something that's behind them. I thought that, I kind of like that they're not U2 in that aspect. I kind of like that they don't make a big deal of it, because it really does. I had friends that were on and went to shows with me that had never seen them before, and they're like, okay, they take their time to make you focus on the music and not on visuals. And this year a little bit different, but I think they still, I even with the visuals that they had in the background, I think you still had focus on what was going on the stage. But in the past, like, I had friends sitting next to me be like, this is what a rock show should feel like, and not having, just, and yes, they do have light shows, but like, insanely, laser lights and all that, like whatever you can get from 80s hair metal kind of stuff that people are used to at this point. Like, I think that's a calling card for them, to just focus on the guys on the stage. And I think that's simple enough. I do think they'll go back to the screen that they were using this year, because I see it as this: if you are on your album tour until year 2, so after the second year, then you're off the album tour to me. I also see it as you're still on the album tour if you're continuing to go to places that you hadn't been touring on the album tour before. So say that next year they decide to go back to like Philly and New York, then it's like, okay, maybe you're not on the album tour anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to go to places like, I don't know, in Ohio or Detroit or something like that, then like, yeah, that's a Dark Matter tour, because they didn't get to see Dark Matter tour yet.
Okay. I listen. I think that what you're saying makes sense. I take it. Great. I like it. We're good with that. Now let's talk about
Great.
the great, fantastic. Let's talk about the Dark Matter tour, shall we? From Vancouver to Australia and everywhere in between, the band really, I would say, probably upped their game as time went on. I definitely think earlier on in the tour there was definitely a lot of similarities to the past tour, where it was you knew what you were getting. They had a formula in place of how many songs in the beginning they were going to play of older stuff to the Dark Matter. You kind of got, there was definitely a system, and a lot of it was very similar. So I felt a lot of the set lists were, there was a system to it. I felt as the tour went on and progressed, I think there was a change, and they started getting a little bit more experimental. I think they broke away from the limitations maybe to the screen. I think they were playing to the screen a little bit earlier on in the tour, where I think they were trying to make sure that the visuals they had put in place and they paid for were being utilized. And then they separated from it a little bit. I mean, Do the Evolution, I almost guarantee, was played every night for the first however many shows, and then I think they took a break. Dave can pull those numbers up. But
I'm gonna guess. I think I looked the other day. I think it's 33 out of 37.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's basically every night.
It's basically every night. Yeah. But this was, I would say that I enjoyed this tour in general. And listen, I talked about this last night. I still like Gigaton. I still like Dark Matter. I like this tour much better than the Gigaton tour. I feel as though the band seems more energetic, and I feel like they're more passionate about playing Dark Matter, and I think they're more happy with it. I do think there's better songs in general, the quality of them on Dark Matter. I do think there's some songs on Gigaton that are better than some songs on Dark Matter, but overall, I thought that I enjoyed it. Now, I only got to see 2 shows this tour. Wasn't planned that way, that I saw both in Seattle, and it was the first time they played Seattle in a long time, and it was really amazing to see them in their element with their friends and family all around them, and them playing to that kind of like atmosphere and crowd. And that was really cool because the whole city was involved in it. Like, it was very much an entire, like, what do you call, like a biodome of people that were taking into the moment. It was a really cool experience. So my experience is always going to be from what I saw in Seattle. So I was encapsulated by what was going on around the city, the people that were in the city, the memories they made there, everything around it. And then also the show itself, which I thought was great. The venue was fantastic. So this set list in general, on all of them, I think we're pretty much, like I said, formulated until the last show of the tour, which was I think you texted me, or actually you both texted me, and like, holy shit. I'm like, what? Holy shit, what? Like, have you seen the set list? I'm like, no, why? What's going on? And then you texted me, and I think my response was, holy shit. And that's a true definition of what that set list is, and if that is any indication of what they could potentially do for next year, then that can almost jumpstart into a whole nother atmosphere of how they can really turn this from like a tour, if you want to grade it from 1 to 10, like a 7.5 to like a 8.5 almost, in my opinion. But that's my 2 cents. Now, before we get to Randy, because I know Randy's been to a lot more shows than Dave and I both have been to. So, Dave, when you think of this tour in general, and you look at the set list, because you're more the analytics person, you look at all the stats and the statistics when it comes to everything. Between your knowledge of the stats and statistics of everything you saw and your experiences at Fenway Park, what is your overall intake on the tour itself?
Well, obviously, this is a album year, and they really went heavy in the Dark Matter. And like you could look at the stats, like okay, they really started out heavy with Dark Matter in the beginning, and then they kind of petered out just a little bit. It was not that far off, but like that. Of course, they're always going to go we heavy on 10 and other things. And I don't know if you're gonna be pulling that stuff up, but they definitely like you said, this is a roller coaster. Like there's barely any lightning bolt in there. There's like you can click on some of these things and hide some of these albums and stuff. But look, the full average is 37 shows. Like Dark Matter, was the number 1, 10, then Yield, then covers. I know people are like, oh, I don't want to hear the covers, but this is the breakdown. Like these are the facts. This is what they did out of percentages per show. This is what, and the averages of the whole thing. So is there anything here that is surprising you guys? I mean, I'm not surprised at all that Gigaton is like so far down, and it's the previous show, the previous album.
I think the thing that surprised me the most, especially when you get closer in, is how like 10 was kind of like, it was pretty common lower in the beginning of the tour, and then as it went on, it almost overcapsulated Dark Matter. And and of course that's in more the Sydney side, the Australia side, because this is definitely the Australia tour right here. I thought that was an interesting jolt. And then also looking at this, it just seems like I'm looking at a pair of boobs right here. So there's like a nipple. It's just, now I look at this and I just see a bunch of boobs. But yeah, no, to me, when I look at this, it is interesting how 10 kind of took over Dark Matter in Australia. It is interesting to me as I look at these numbers, how low Lightning Bolt and No Code. And you're talking about, even a self-titled, God, Lightning Bolt is such an underrated album, and we've talked about this in the past. Lightning Bolt's a fantastic album. The fact that he played 1% of the album or even Riot Act, Binaural, Gigaton. That's not fun. I don't like it. I don't like it.
But they know their fan base. Like if you think of some of these albums, they're like, okay, or earlier years and stuff like that, they might not have been in love with Lightning Bolt or Gigaton, but let's see next year. Is this going to be a Dark Matter tour? Is it going to be another continuation, or if they're going to be like, okay, let's go back to our our fans and do more of a mishmash of things and let's bring out like some rarities again, and like who knows what they're going to be doing.
I'm zooming in so people can see it better.
I don't exactly think that this was the tour for rarities, even though I think the 3 talking points of this tour happen to be Hunger Strike, Whale Song. Yeah, I know. I'm off my game apparently. And Grammy are like the major talk, and the rare songs are always going to be talking points, but that's not really the sense of the tour themes here. So I've been telling a lot of people, there are a lot of people that just like, they get get passionate about this band, but they get angry about this band too. And it kind of turns into oh, here's what I want. And sometimes it's not about it's about a grander scheme kind of thing. And I always try to really just sort of put it out there, like, don't just think about your own intake of things, think about what's all around you. So the phrase I've been using the most in the last month or so has been, don't think about the what, think about the whys and the hows. The what on the set list will tell you words. It will tell you an order of what those words happen. It will tell you the statistics. But what it won't tell you is, it won't tell you if Ed had told a funny story about a friend, or if Ed interacted with somebody in a crowd who had a sign and went back and forth with them. It won't tell you if Mike had a ripping guitar solo in the song. You can't always judge it on the set. And that's why, even if a set list has, your best of 10 and a good amount of dark matter, and then you're given a Flies and Evolutions and Better Man and Daughter and all that, even if
or has your Braden J in there,
well, I mean, look, I got lucky. I got lucky with one. I no longer have to make the chase, but that's a story maybe for later. But I think what people don't exactly realize is that, and a lot of people will just take it as, well, am I going to listen to this by looking at a set list? Am I excited to listen to it? And personally, I'm excited to listen to anything that they put out. But you have to think to yourself, because a lot of people said that the Gold Coast show was a little tough, and they played songs like Man of the Hour and I Got Shit, but at the Gold Coast show, they had to push the show back. There were storms and people were getting a little bit restless. And he asked some of them, and a couple of fans did not have that good of an experience. Especially, I think their security there was treating people like absolute garbage. So it is not always about what you see on that set. It's about how they take care of things. And I think from that aspect, I think they really nailed that this tour year. And really, I mean, maybe that's one of those things where everybody kind of expects that, but you need the down deep gritty details of it to really experience what's happening.
I agree with you
so
on that one.
you got you mentioned their one time onlys that happened this year, and I'd like to bring up what I call the in hiding songs.
Yeah.
Like they brought out, Can't Keep 156 shows. They did play it twice this year, however, after bringing it back. So that was interesting.
Can't Keep twice?
Yeah. Can't Keep
Well,
twice
that's
this
Ed.
year.
Well, Ed opened the Ohana Festival with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're counting that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then
hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm with you.
No. If the whole band's not on stage, it don't count.
Okay. So I get from Dave's standpoint that if Ed were to do that at a Pearl Jam show, because this was Ohana, he did that at. That's okay. A festival. That's a lot different than doing that at an actual Pearl Jam show. And Pearl Jam show, that is
they played the same day. They played the same day. Is it a preset? Because they went on later. How do you want to count it just because? Because do you want to count it because there was an opener, or is it just because there was more than one person playing?
This I feel like this is a dirty topic.
It's
I like this one.
Really tough conversation to have.
Good one.
I don't know. I feel
I do have it as a preset because I mean, so how many times have they had more than one opener? Several times.
Yes, but that's been specifically a Pearl Jam show. Like, we haven't looked into what a preset of a festival is. If they played
Ohana Fest and one day it was only Eddie on one day, and then the next day was Pearl Jam, yes, I would seriously not say anything the first day that was an Eddie solo day. I would not count any of that as a Pearl Jam show. But if Pearl Jam is playing, it's just like any show where he comes out, plays a 1-2 songs before they go on later.
Let me
yeah, okay. They might have had several people.
I have a
That's
question.
like
them.
almost 12 hours later. It's so weird.
Well, let me ask you a question. So if
I
Eddie,
get where you're coming from, but
Eddie
it's
plays
so
Can't
weird.
Keep at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then Pearl Jam plays at 7 o'clock at night, that counts. But here's a question I have for you. If Eddie closes on a Friday night at a festival and plays Can't Keep in his solo set, but Pearl Jam plays the next day at 11 a.m. before the afternoon, how does that work? I'm
come on.
Listen, if we're throwing hypotheticals out there, I mean, is it just in days? Is it in hours? I think you opened a can of worms, buddy, and these worms are flying
I did open a can of worms, but I guess I did judgment call. What do you not agree with me at all? Neither one of you guys?
It feels odd. I really have to.
Okay, it feels odd, but it was.
If Eddie had played Can't Keep in the encore leading up to the band coming on stage, I would say it counts. But with him playing a song and then
Well, of course it counts. That's part of the set.
Well, hold on a second. But it's solo.
Okay.
It's him solo. But if it's him solo and then there's another band playing after him, it's a reset and it doesn't count.
Well, that's the argument. So anytime he's done a preset like before, like Slater Kinney or something like that, then yeah, I get counting it. But that's Pearl Jam show.
Ooh. There's a good question. If Pearl Jam lasts until after midnight, does each day count as a show? This is
it's
happened before. It has happened. Now it's never going to happen again, but it has happened before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to redo my numbers. I might have seen 60 shows now.
Here. I think the show has to start on a day. It can go into the next day, but as long as it starts on a day, then that's the day of the show. So say they have a massive rain delay that doesn't start until midnight, then that's the day of the show. But I don't think they've ever had that. No. Both Wrigley's, definitely Wrigley in 2013 started at like 7:30 and then picked back up at like midnight or 12 or 11:30, whenever it was.
About 11:35, yeah.
Yep. 2018, I don't remember the exact start time for that, but I believe their off time was 1, so they had to have started before midnight. It had to have been like at 11 or 10:30 or something like that.
All right, so this is a one-off thing here. How many times has this ever happened before? Probably like, how many festivals have they played that Eddie has come out and played one song, and then
this is probably it.
The 2006 tour.
Not for festivals, because this is a special occasion because it's his festival, you know?
His festival. In 2006, when he came out and he'd come out and play a song before the opening band would play out, do you count that as a Pearl Jam song? Or is that just Eddie solo?
It's preset.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm also now
I'll look into that. Okay. Just make sure they're the right dates, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, if they can make money off of it, yes, they will sell it. They'll have to go to East Troy, Michigan, in order to
now that we've established stuff about Can't Keep.
If Google Photos adjust my timestamp on footage from Sacramento and the Vegas shows to the Eastern time zone that I actually live in, what day did I actually see those shows on?
Have we really ate that much tryptophan so far, guys? Like, what's going on?
Damn, I really wanted to have an edible before the show. That would have fucking put me to the moon. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that was good. That gave me a good chuckle. That's hilarious. No, all right.
So also what I was talking about is they brought out Leatherman again after 86 shows, Big Wave 113, Future Dave's 115 for Future Days,
Wow.
And all these songs has actually been, they came back from the longest drought that these songs have ever had.
Okay.
So
That's crazy.
so this has been a pretty good year for 4 songs to come out from for being gone for so long. That's a pretty long drought.
And then Hunger Strike was like 130 or something, right?
Oh geez, I'm not even sure what that was because I that it's a cover song, so I don't really have a whole lot of.
Yeah, I know No Surrender went 400.
So let's see.
By the way,
have that right here.
the other Live Footsteps thing that Dave knows that I picked a fight with him is Little Wing. They played full Little Wing.
Yes.
I don't think it's a tag. They played the whole
No.
thing.
I have it this year as being a full thing.
In Seattle?
No. Where do I
I
have
thought
it
that
as?
was because that was the argument that we had.
Where's my Little Wing tag here? Or not tag, but my Little Wing
Because that was the whole your argument was that they went back into Ledbetter to like play like the last bar of Ledbetter after Little Wing ended. So it was like a medley, but they played all and really more.
Yeah. I mean, I have it as Wrigley being full, but then I mean, it depends on your definition of a tag. Like if it's they insert a song, and even if they play almost the whole damn thing, and then all of a sudden the last 3 notes is closing out Ledbetter, is it the whole thing and then just a couple random notes, or is it the whole thing and then like stopping?
I kind of got like into it wasn't even a constructed conversation. It was like borderline argument with somebody about because I kind of stole your stats and said, hey, everybody, look at Dave's stats. And somebody commented, they're like, well, you know that the WMA tag was basically the full play. And I'm like, well, no, it was still a tag. It was like, well, why are you counting Little Wing? And I'm like, it's a tag for WMA because signature aspects of WMA are not happening in that song for that to be considered a full play, i.e., any sort of drum intro that you need from that is not happening on Daughter. Sometimes they don't go through the end like Jesus greets me, just looks just like me. I first of all, they weren't playing that tag almost at all this year. I think they maybe, if we're lucky, maybe they did it twice, maybe, but they definitely did not come close to what a full version would be.
No.
My idea of this is if you play the full song, then you get rid of the tag.
Okay. The rule is a tag only counts if you say you're it.
No bagsies. Brad's got some zingers today.
You have no idea. I talk to Brad on at least a daily basis, and some of the jokes he come. He's like the dad joke constant. It's always interesting. He keeps it interesting. Oh Jesus. All right. So we're talking about milestones, correct? And we're talking about tags and tagging people, as Brad said. Do we want to bring up your chart of the milestones that have come across so much so far?
Sure.
Dave?
Why not?
Let's do that.
This year was a few milestones. You know, elderly woman behind a counter in a small town, 500, hit this year. And, there's a couple other songs that were, let me grab mine up here since, where are they? Ledbetter 400 hit a 400 milestone, and 4 songs hit 100 milestone. In My Tree, Oceans, Down, Wash. There's a couple songs that hit their milestone last year at the very end that hit like 200, and I think it was Black hit 200 at the very end of the year.
Black hitting 200 would be very impressive.
Well, Black just hit 200 in 2023.
Dave,
What was that? What?
600.
No, 600. Sorry, 600.
You were 400 off.
I was.
It's 400
like-
off.
like,
I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at the wrong number there.
I was gonna
600.
say-
Sorry.
I was pretty sure I've heard Black 200 times. So as I say, you know.
Yes, 600 times for Black. Sorry. I'm getting my numbers here. I'm looking at 6 songs for 200. That's what was the thing. Spin the Black Circle. Do you guys think Spin the Black Circle hasn't been played a whole lot? 198 times. You think it's going to hit?
Yeah.
You think it hit next year?
If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have been like, hell no.
I mean,
Because
6 times this past year. They've kind of like, really, it's kind of like, oh yeah, they wanted to play that again. I mean,
Yeah. Yet a song like Go got played once.
Yeah.
Go is now as uncommon as, I don't know, Parting Ways. They don't do it anymore.
Right. So like approaching 100, In Hiding, that's probably going to hit. Love Boat Captain, yeah, maybe, yeah. Long Road, 98. I mean, are we going to hit 100? Lightning Bolt, maybe not. The Fixer, no.
The Lightning Bolt, I can see. The Fixer is going to take a while. It's just because
Yeah.
I think it's weird to me.
Fixer hasn't been played since 2018.
Yeah, it's going to be a while for that.
I can see Light Years getting to 100 before the Fixer does.
Yep.
I can also
Yes.
I can see Low Light and Breath getting to 100 before the
Low
Fixer
Light, if they have 20 shows next year, Low Light gets to 100.
Yeah.
does.
Breath not being at 100 is fucking
Surprising.
psycho.
It is, yeah.
I know.
Smile not being at 100 is psycho.
Yeah, I think Breath is more of a psychopathic thing than Smile, but that's just me.
I think they're both pretty. Yeah.
I mean, I love that, they're going after some of these songs and playing them, a good amount now. And like, I mean, I'm surprised that even Better Man is only 569. I mean, they're pulling that almost every other night.
It's funny. We actually crunched numbers on that. Better Man had a down year this year. If you look at Better Man's year, it wasn't as good as you would think, as it normally is.
With
I think it was
17, 23,
under 50,
and 22.
right?
Yeah. Right. So, yeah. 44%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I said, every other night. So it's just slightly less than that every other night.
Right.
I mean, think about Do the Evolution basically got from 550 to 580 just because of this tour, just because of the visual aspect of it. I mean, that's that was a huge jump in that song alone. I mean, it was played basically, as we said before, almost every show of the tour. So that one jumped up. I wonder if that will get to 600 next year.
Again, 20 shows, that should do it.
Yeah, that should do it. If you could retire any of the songs above 600 plays, hold on a second, we don't have that on there. If you could retire any of the songs in that almost getting to 600, so Jeremy, Do the Evolution, Daughter, A Better Man, which song would you retire?
Jeremy, Do the Evolution, Daughter, or Better Man. I would retire Daughter.
So this is like Kiss, Marry, Kill, Bury.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you said Daughter is what you would retire, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
What is that?
Because the actual song itself, like once you hear it, you're like, okay, I'm just waiting for a tag. Because the actual song itself doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't really elicit the same response after a while.
All right, Dave.
I kind of forget what shows I see Daughter in.
Dave, fix it. Come on, give me. What are you retiring?
And
everyone tuning in, what are you retiring?
I'd go with Jeremy.
Oh, I'm gonna fight you.
That's it,
Jeremy.
Hey, that is exactly what I was gonna say.
Love the song.
Jeremy was one of their best live songs this year.
No,
And that's what I'm talking about with the what. people see Jeremy on a set and they're like, oh, Jeremy again. Go fucking witness that in a crowd of 50,000 and tell me that you don't want to see that.
I would. There's so many other songs I'd rather see than Jeremy.
I get it.
I don't see that many shows anymore, and I go to Fenway, and I've seen it at Fenway every year, the last few years. So I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Do the evolution with a crowd with the Hallelujah. That is more impressive than Jeremy, in my opinion, because everyone gets behind it. And Better Man. I think Better Man, in its own sense, is better than, I don't know. That's just my opinion. We all have opinions.
Really?
Jeremy's great.
Opinions.
Jeremy, opinions are like Creed. They suck.
They suck. I will say the MSG Night 2, that version of Do the Evolution, crowd was almost dead.
No.
And I couldn't explain it. Yeah, and I had a good view of everything. The crowd was not great. Jeremy was only a couple songs later, a couple songs in between, and Jeremy was massive. And I have video from it. Actually, self-promotion time. YouTube channel. If you go to Live on Four Legs YouTube channel, I just put together a tour documentary on the MSG show that I went to this year, if you want to check it out. And the performance of Jeremy is in there. And if you listen to that and get to see the crowd, you will know how fucking good it sounds and how good the band sounds too. It's not just the crowd just singing because they know it from the radio.
From my understanding, Randy, I heard you're really good at editing. I think you edited that to make me look bad. So I am just not going to believe you. Because in my personal opinion, I think New York shows are the worst. I already
made you look bad in Seattle.
You always do. Here's the thing. It's not hard to make me look bad. I do it myself really well.
I feel like this conversation is making you look bad.
No, it's not. I guarantee you, if you did a poll and said if you had to get rid of one or the other, and it was between Jeremy or Daughter, I believe in my whole hearts, I think it's going to be close, but I think Jeremy is the one voted off the island.
Because people are thinking about the what?
No, it's not the what.
Yes, it is.
You're overthinking it, Randy. You're overthinking it.
No, I'm not.
No, here's the thing. It's just, it's not. Jeremy is a good song. It was a good song, but as they progress, it's just not. It doesn't hold up like it used to. That's just my opinion. When I hear it, I would rather hear Even Flow over Jeremy. That's how much I feel.
Here's the thing, because you're thinking about what you'd rather hear instead of just sitting there enjoying the moment and not being. If you go into it and you're saying to yourself, I've seen this a million times, I can go to the bathroom, I can go get a drink, then you lose what the song is giving you and what the power of the performance is giving you. It's so much more than just a take it or leave it. It really is.
It's not.
I think that.
But you're not. I think you're missing the point too. The conversation we're having is Jeremy over Daughter, and if, in my opinion, it's not about anything more than it's all this. The conversation is what do I rather hear more, and I would rather hear Daughter over Jeremy. That's just my opinion.
Probably because you want to wait for something with the tag, because there is some unpredictability with it.
I don't give a shit about a tag. I don't like cover songs. I hate fucking cover songs. Bob O'Reilly needs to be retired as well. I just like the songs. And I don't care about the tag. If I'm just hearing from beginning to end a song and I needed to pick, and I'm not saying I don't like either song, I like the songs, but in my opinion, I would rather hear Daughter over Jeremy. That's just it.
All right, what does everybody else think? Dave, you tiebreaker. You already said
get rid of Jeremy. It is close. The most overrated.
I don't care what Mark thinks. Get rid of Jeremy. Go with Even Flow. Go with Gigaton. Whatever.
Hey, is this true? Do the Evolution video MSG Night 2 was an alternative video? Correct me, maybe why?
Yeah, they changed it every other show or so. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
It's just kind of splicing in different clips.
To bring up this again, for the users of Live Footsteps, They have ranked Jeremy and they have ranked Daughter. Who do you think what do you think they like better?
I'm not saying I wouldn't be surprised that it's Daughter. I'm just saying that Jeremy's a way more powerful performance than Daughter is right now.
No, I want this answer now. Hold on.
You
Don't
get
do it.
the answer. That's fine.
Hold on.
You
Don't
can
get
get the answer.
Hold on. Where is it? Where? Hold on. I have a button. I haven't used it in a while. I gotta find it. Hold on. Oh, right. Are we ready?
All right. So Jeremy is a 3-star song and Daughter is a 3.5 stars. So they just squeak out Daughter is better.
Yeah, that's a squeak.
But it's still
fine.
The numbers
take it.
All right, enough
yeah.
clapping for me.
I'll go enjoy the Jeremy performances.
Wait, hold on.
But then again,
I'll die on the hill right now. I've been dying on the hill.
There's a lot of comments coming in. Let's get to these comments real quick. Ned says, I associate Jeremy with a very specific time and era, maybe because of the video specifically, while all of the other songs seem a bit more timeless. Brad says Jeremy is now as common and memorable as an actual school shooting. Every once in a while, there's a good one. Oh my Jesus Christ! Every once in a while, is a good one, but most of them are forgettable. Jesus fucking Christ! And then we're gonna go to next comment.
Okay.
And then Kimba says no other band can play Jeremy and give it full justice. Well,
I mean,
I shouldn't laugh at that, but it's
wow.
Oh,
well, that was.
I take it back, Brad.
Dark matter.
Well,
on that note, I will hit the. Where is it?
Boo.
Dave, so we've learned that Daughter ranks better than Jeremy.
Yes,
I'm right. Let's move it along.
Yes.
Let's go back to the
still
chart, shall we?
Jeremy's still much better performance.
It's everybody's opinion. That's why I like the facts. That's why I like the numbers. But everybody has
numbers. Don't play music.
Oh.
Yeah, they do. Numbers play music. That's how music is.
If
made
you press a button that has a number on it, maybe.
What's digital? It's ones and zeros, right? Come on, no.
Exactly. Dave? Do you want to go to the other chart, or do you want to use this one still?
No. I'm good. I'm good. That's.
So we want to go to this one.
What do we got here?
Over the years.
Over the years, here we go. Like,
let me zoom.
Oh my God, 10 was really played in 1991.
You think?
I think Jeremy over Daughter in 1991. That's
Oh Jesus Christ.
So I don't know if you're really gonna get a good feel for this, but I mean, it's yes,
a lot of boobs to me.
Yes, it certainly is. But it's like you could still see like in this year, Dark Matter still popped up. What is this? Dark Matter, and then I'm having a hard time seeing your thing. It's a little blurry there. I got to go to my own.
That sounds kind of kinky.
Yes.
So Dark Matter is at 24.45% of the songs, while others were 24.45% of the songs as well.
I want to see, do you have, so what was Lightning Bolt on the first year of the Lightning Bolt tour, 2013? What percentage was that?
Lightning Bolt was 17.75% of songs.
Okay,
yes.
So that's a massive jump. And they had around the same shows, a little bit less in 2013, probably around like 27 or 28, while this was 37. But okay.
But if you go to 2021, Randy, and you look at Gigaton was 27.38.
There were 4 shows in 2021.
4 shows, that's why.
Go to 2022. Gigaton was way down. Gigaton was way down.
Yeah, and don't look at those others. I was hoping that would disappear in there. I was messing with my code, so
it's okay.
Don't even look at that.
You do I am very proud of you. You do a fantastic job.
But yes, Do you think this kind of drop off is going to happen next year? If they're not really pushing Dark Matter again, do you think there's going to be a huge drop off, just like Gigaton or like Lightning Bolts? Not a huge drop off for Lightning Bolts for 2014.
One album that we can compare pretty close to it is if you look at 2006, Pearl Jam's self-titled album was 23.97% of the songs in retrospect to the 24.45. In 2006, I would say they probably played a little bit more. They probably played a little bit more shows than they played this year in retrospect because they played a lot more during the week. But the album did drop down to about 15% of the songs in 2007, which 2007, of course, had less shows than 2006. But I could see something a little bit more realistic like that for next year, unless Randy is correct in his beliefs that if they're going to, like, let's say a Cincinnati, they're going to a Detroit, they're going to go to, Omaha, Nebraska, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Kansas City, I can hope, all these different things, and it's still a Dark Matter tour, then maybe we're going to get a lot of similar set lists like we've been seeing for this majority of this tour. And I can see that maybe being in that 22% range, maybe we'd get a little bit more of other things, but I don't think it'll be that much of a drop off. But if we are getting something where they're going to see revisits of cities, and we are seeing them go back to Seattle and New York, and some of the other rumors are true, then maybe we get more of something similar to 2007 where it just drops off, and Versus was almost eerily similar to the self-titled album. So that could come around. And
check the Lightning Bolt percentage in 2014.
Yes, sir.
What's the drop off?
Lightning Bolt in 2017. So it went from 17.75% to 15.2%. So about a 2% drop off.
I think here, what you got to have to realize is that it is weighted a little bit with both of these, because in 2006, their average amount of songs per show was probably close to 30. And I would say on the Lightning Bolt tour in 2013, their average amount was probably close to 32 or 33. And this year, it was closer to maybe 23 or 24. Probably 24 would be on average. So what they're doing, and I think why a lot of people have said, that there isn't a lot of rare stuff, that they're not changing it up a little bit, is because, that consumes a whole lot of time in the show when you are set to play the first 4 songs off the record within songs 5 through 8, which they didn't stick to that formula the whole entire year, but that was the idea was there. That's a major chunk of your show. That's a major percentage of your show that you're taking out. So I get that, but I also think that Australia might be a little glimpse into the future. I think the songs from Dark Matter that they seem to want to bring back more than a couple of times, I think they're still high on Dark Matter. I think they're definitely high on Wreckage. Wreckage had a perfect score this year. It was played at all 37 shows. Congratulations to that song. They're still high on React Respond, I think. I think that maybe Upper Hand took a little bit of a dip. I think Stevie kind of stayed a little bit in that middle ground. Got to Give and Something Special, and even Setting Sun, that's the most disappointing one. All those songs only got played at one show in Australia. I believe you could put Upper Hand in that category too. Running only got played once in Australia. And Scared of Fear, it felt like after a while, because you saw that intro, the intro of the sky rising and the sun rising and everything like that. You saw that intro into what the Dark Matter songs were going to be, and that kicked it off. And after a while, it was like, okay, no, we're not going to do that. And it's just going to be a React Respond into the Dark Matter section. And they kind of ditched Scared of Fear a little bit after a certain point. So I think that React Respond, Dark Matter, Wreckage, and Waiting for Stevie are probably the ones that they're really going to keep around a little more often. Won't Tell feels like it made a little bit more of a surge on the second US leg. And I think they maybe played it more than once in Australia as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, I can see that kind of rising a little bit again. I want Setting Sun to get back to that point where they can still use it as the closer. I think everybody's still asking for it. And I think that's the one thing that people after the first leg are just like, why couldn't they continue that? They had something really special going on with it.
Yep.
And it kind of unfortunately became the river cross of this tour after a while because they would start crossing it off. And it did not deserve that because I think more so than River Cross, I think that people were really finding an attachment to it. Not saying that River Cross is a bad song or anything like that, but Setting Sun had dynamics to it that nothing else had on Dark Matter, that felt like you were getting closure out of a set list. Even when it was played like before live or something like that, it still had a presence. It still had a power. And I guess from that standpoint, like I mean, look, if they go on tour next year, I think some of the other songs will be played, but they won't. Those percentages will go down. I think the same kind of thing happened on Lightning Bolt too, where Minor Matters, Lightning Bolt, now Pendulum, Future Days. Like I'm thinking about the ones that really stuck around a little bit more into 2014. Like they weren't playing Getaway. They weren't playing My Father's Son. Sirens, obviously. Sirens into 2014. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking 2014. Swallowed Whole got dropped. Let the Records Play, not a whole lot. And Fallible got dropped after a while. So I think that's kind of the same trajectory that we're looking at here. I think we can look to the Lightning Bolt tour as the comparison to what we might see over 2025.
So the question I have for you is, Dave, I personally think if there was a great opener and closer utilizing newer songs, I personally would like to see a Pendulum and Setting Sun. That I think is my...
Has there been a ghost?
Yes. What?
Is anyone else hearing that?
The ghosts are a really long fart.
That is my dog over here, who is snoring.
Is he doing Zoomy sleeps?
He's right back there. He's up on the behind the, and he's. You can actually hear that, huh? The mic's picking him up.
Oh my god!
Great.
I was confused. I was like, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking hearing things.
Yes, he was snoring away.
I really like a lot of the newer stuff. I do, and I like it being incorporated because I hate the fact that when an album tour drops, a lot of the songs are being left in the backdrop and they're not being played as much. I mean, Self-Titled is a great example of a lot of great songs that are just you don't hear anymore, and I don't know if they'll ever play them again, honestly. As this band, I mean, the band's got such a large catalog, and they're only playing 25, 26 songs, where you're going to have 2 cover songs every show, which I'm not trying to get on my damn fucking podium. I just want, and I don't need a fucking 32 song set. I'm too old for that shit nowadays. Like my back hurts. I can't stand up for that fucking long anymore. Like and it costs too much because by the time if you're at a fucking 4-hour long show, you're spending too much money on food and beer, and I can't do that anymore. I'll go broke. But in the grand scheme of things, I would love for them to start incorporating some of these songs. Pendulum is a great opener. Pendulum was built to be a great opener, and it is. Setting Sun.
I mean, anything that builds like that, Pendulum. Like, yeah, I want them to play Pendulum to open a show more. Like, yes, Release is still so classic to open up, but Pendulum, yeah, I do miss that to open up. Setting Sun, that is a great closer. Yeah, there are songs that like I want, Indifference. I want, Hard to Imagine. I want, certain songs to close and open. Yeah.
Well, that's where I had the bragging rights on after like our first episode of Destined to Remember, because you remember I said like, let's ditch Ledbetter. I think that was that conversation. You were like, really? You ditched Ledbetter? And I said, yeah, of course. For something new to close. And then we came back.
You called Setting Sun was a closer too. And then
I know, that's why I'm so disappointed, because now my word is being crushed.
No, because you said I remember it. We can replay it. You said, "Here, I'm gonna pretend to be Randy." Hey guys, I have a clever idea
Oh, I'm
about
more
things.
nasally than that.
After listening to Setting Sun, I think that is the most fantastic closure for this tour. I guarantee that Setting Sun is going to close most of the shows. And then Dave's like, guys, we have to be serious about this and look at the other songs that could potentially close these shows. Statistically speaking, looking at live footsteps, percentages would say otherwise. Guys, I just feel in my heart and my soul, knowing what I know, that Settings. Okay, I can't do that voice anymore. No, but you were 100%.
You just live by your heart, Randy. Yes, I know.
But no, Setting Sun is a great closer. I agree with you, and I was a little skeptical about it until I saw it, and it was 100% correct. But I want to bring up what I think was the greatest 3-punch of an opening set list that I've ever seen in person, and that was Pendulum into Release into In My Tree, and that was just stunning. And that was probably, and it's still probably to this day, that set list in general is probably one of my favorite sets I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know what show I'm looking at.
What show is it? Don't
It's
look it up on.
It's Charlottesville. I know.
Yeah, Charlottesville is going. That is a show from years from now. I still can't believe I photographed that show, but from years from now, people will be talking about.
I want to bring up.
I have my thoughts about that show.
Setting Sun.
I've already done an episode on that. You can listen to that if you want my thoughts about that show.
No, you know what? I've heard enough of your fucking thoughts, Randy. I've heard enough.
Mute me then. I dare you.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, Setting Sun started out with 10 shows in a row that was played, and they all closed it. And then it didn't close again. After that, it was like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows after that. They didn't close with it. I mean, they went to Europe and played Dublin, and after that, they haven't played at the close since. I mean, they were trying new things after Seattle. You know.
Yeah.
Ned. Speaking of imitations, Ned Tugent.
Oh gosh,
he's the master of the imitations.
Well, that's for another. I also would say this. I agree with Dale, who says get rid of Bob O'Reilly rocking the free world and play other songs.
Dale also didn't like anything from Dark Matter.
I don't think that he didn't. So Dale is almost reactional. Like he reacts.
Doesn't respond.
He doesn't respond. No, I think listen. Dale likes. You okay? Oh, going out of focus, Dave. What happened?
I'm going way out of focus. What's going on here?
I don't know. I think he likes some of Dark Matter, but I also think that some people are so passionate and in love with some of the earlier stuff that means something to them that sometimes it's hard for new stuff. I mean, I get it. I went and saw a couple of bands that were touring here from like back when I was in high school, and I was like, oh man, I just want to hear this stuff that I love. And when I heard the new stuff, I'm like, actually, it's kind of shit. And it was tough for me. But then some people absolutely love it. It's all perspective and opinions. And once again, what do they say? Opinions are like assholes. And Creed. So it is what it is. But let's get back onto this, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 2006 Pearl Jam tour, which in my opinion was one of their best tours, where do you rank this first leg or first portion of the Dark Matter tour? And I'm going to go to Dave first, because Dave, my statistics guy, the guy who I always promote, and also I believe am helping get a paid sponsorship with Trey's Winery, because he said last night he wanted to talk to you about putting sponsorship ads on your website. So I will get you guys in touch with each other.
Sure.
How do you place this between 0 as I would say, I don't know, a Creed concert, and then a 10, which I would say, the best of the best?
7, 8. I think this is one of the better tours of the last 10 years. I always just go back to my first year, my first Pearl Jam show in 2003, which I don't think anything could match that. But I think this year 7-8 for this year. I think they did an incredible job touring this year.
Okay, Randy.
I'm around that too. I'm around 7 and 8 too. It's tough to like make distinct comparisons because in some ways this wasn't like any other tour that we've gotten, but you know, it's tough. It's tough because they're all unique individually, and I think that some really Paw Patrol. Okay. I don't know. I'm always gonna have a great time at the shows. I'm always gonna have fun. I'm always gonna find stuff that relates to me. And every single year, I have stuff that I take away from it near and dear to my heart. I think that Philly show that was the first night was just spectacular. It's already in my top 5 of shows. And then I think about 2002, and think about all the shows I went to there. Camden was amazing. I thought that St.
Please
Louis
don't
was
bring that up.
amazing. Oh yeah. Hey Dave, where are you? We're almost there. And like that tour to me was pretty special too, because obviously spending a lot of time not getting to tour at all, and really the last time I had traveled was like 2014 before. And when I mean travel, I mean like take a plane to go to a Pearl Jam show. Oh man, it's tough. It's really tough. I don't know if I have that perspective on it yet. I really don't. But I think that some of these shows will go down as
memorable.
No, nobody's gonna remember them. But you know, they'll just be bootlegs. So,
So of the 2024 tour, what do you think were your top 5 shows of this tour?
Philly won last night in Sydney.
Is that what
we're
calling it now? Because that's a fun name. Last Night in Sydney. It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sounds like a tour documentary.
I mean, it was only just like 4 days ago, but yeah, Last Night in Sydney sounds good.
Right? Or the last night. I wasn't mentioned. It wasn't like Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I think Seattle 1 is very good. I think Vegas 1 is very good. I think Barcelona 1 is very good. That one's got a lot of emotion, raw power behind that. I think that MSG 2 is great. Ohana, like both Ohana shows were really good for festival shows. Yeah, there's no lack of contenders.
Yeah, and the thing too is I think prospectively it's tough. I mean, I know Randy is definitely more involved in the aspect of the involvement of the day-to-day shows and the set list and stuff. Where me, I look at the set list. I don't really dig as deep as Randy does. I appreciate and listen to what Randy says about him, but I'm more of like I have to be there for me to understand it. Like I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner. So like I won't listen to as many of the bootlegs from this tour just for the fact that like I feel a lot of them are very similar. Now I will listen to the Sydney one. I think that one really stands out. It's something special. It's unique. I'll listen to that. The Ohana ones, I'll probably listen to like Whale Song and Grammy because I'm interested in see how it sounded live, especially on the production side of things. That will be interesting to me. But if it's going, yeah, it'll be a good one. So, but I will be listening to it. It is a bummer I didn't go to Boston to see them. I was really looking forward to that. That was a tough last minute call that I couldn't do. But we'll see. I'm hoping next year they'll play some of the Midwest and I'll jump on a few shows. But I will say
the stars align and they add Guilford, New Hampshire, please.
Not even gonna start begging for Syracuse. That's just not. I know it's not in the
I know some
cards.
people want Delaware, Alaska. I is still surprised I have never played Alaska. I think that would be interesting. But I will say this,
You
and this
are?
is what. Yeah, why not? Well, fuck. I mean, if Jack White can play Alaska, then why Pearl Jam can't? Dale
Jack
says,
White is a little less selective.
first of all, this I will say this, and this is where originally before Jack White started doing his stuff this year, and his new album is amazing. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. The way he's been doing his tour and really giving back to fans, I would have given this new tour probably like a 7, 8, 7. I think we're pretty much on the same page. But looking at someone like Jack White, who does more for his fan base and on a little bit lesser scale, and how he's kind of like how he tours and he's doing it and he kind of follows through with things, it kind of made me realize like I feel like he gives back more to his fans, and I feel like some other bands do than Pearl Jam has here recently. In my opinion, I still love the band. I have nothing against them, but I do feel as though some of the decisions made by the band, especially when it comes to, and I understand Mr. T-Shirt makes the decisions, but when it comes to like the merchandise, the push for it, some of the comments and the way that the band reacts to some of the things, it doesn't feel the same as it once did. It feels like they're turning a little bit into Rolling Stones. They're gonna go to places, they're gonna play special shows, they're gonna do what they have to do. You're gonna love it. They're gonna interact with the crowd, they're gonna say the speeches, but then they leave and they're on to the next show. I don't feel as though the flag that Pearl Jam planted in other arenas and venues in the past, where it was like, oh my god, the last time they did this, and they tore. I just don't think. I think those days are past us. And once again, it comes with age and it comes with that stuff. But it is. That's just my opinion. Will I still pay to see them? Yes. But as I get older, am I gonna if I see other bands that are closer by and I could afford that more, would I potentially take those over Pearl Jam? And that is a question I've been challenging myself with here recently as I look over some things, because back in the day, you got 32 songs a show, and you got maybe even 28 songs a show, but it was very different. A lot of things are very mathematically and analytically put together now. Then it's just different than like it used to be. That's just my opinion. But are they still amazing and probably one of the top live bands ever? 100%. Are they still one of the best live bands alive today? 100%. But I don't know if the passion for play that Pearl Jam puts on the stage now is as passionate as it was pre-COVID, and I'll say that.
It's tough when you get old.
Fuck, I know that. Ain't that the fucking truth? Wow, crickets. I guess this will be the end of our friendship. Fuck, did I just put a knife in someone's back?
You ain't even 40 yet, dude.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'll be 40 in like a couple of months, but I'll tell you, that car accident changed my fucking perspective on things. Like, my mind was telling me, hey, you're fine. My body was like, no, you are not. Yeah. Well, Ned lives in Maine. I actually lived in Maine. I was in Caribou, Maine. I'd love to see him in Maine. Maine's great.
I'd go to Maine.
Yeah. I suspect they'll probably do a big tour next year. I'll probably see him 2 or 3 times. I'll probably see him more. I'll probably spend more money on merchandise than I ever fucking should, like I normally do. And I'll bet you about it later.
One of everything.
This tour was the first tour in the history of the last probably 15 years, 20 years I've been following them, that I did not do that. And it was just, and that comes to, I don't blame Pearl Jam for this, but their quality of merchandise is the reason why they're doing these blind bags and why every single person is getting one of those fucking rat t-shirts, is because the quality of t-shirts and merchandise they're putting out now is not of the quality it used to be. And that's not Pearl Jam's fault at all. They subsidize the merchandise off to another company that puts this together, but the poster and quality in my perspective, which just can go on for a whole hour-long conversation, is not the quality it used to be. We're getting more we're getting more misses than hits. The merchandise
Australia posters were amazing, though. I thought that they nailed Australia here.
Australia had some good posters, but here's the thing. When you look back into 2006, 2013, even previous that, there is posters that we have on our walls, like I don't know, I mean, God, I have so many in this place, but that just stand out tremendously. I don't know in 10 years if we're gonna remember those posters.
Here's a funny thing. I love, as you can see behind me, I love the Night 2 Philly poster. I think that that's an all-time poster.
And I agree with you on that one. What I'm saying is if we were looking at an entire layout of all the posters that they've done, all the t-shirts, the stickers, everything they've put out this year, right? And the quality, I would think that we're looking at 10% success, 90% or 10% success, 70% okay, and then the rest is a fail.
Well, let me expand my thought for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
So as you see the Salamander poster, that's the Night 1 poster. That's obviously the show out of the two. The worst poster is the Better Night, and I think that sort of puts a weird, I can't explain it. The only other one that I can think of that does that, where and look to my right here, or left on your side, Donkey Kong, like, best poster show combination of all time. Yeah, probably.
Ooh, that is a great. You know what? Time out. That is a great question and a topic. Best show, concert, best concert and like poster combination. Mm-hmm. I dig that, because I could also say DC Reaper. Hell of a set list. Hell of a poster.
What year was that?
2006.
Oh, okay. The Reaper was 06. Okay.
Yeah, but then I would say this now. Okay. Someone get a knock on a door?
No, they're good.
Okay. This is where my opinion on how things actually get passed and approved. How the fuck was this even approved to be an art? Like,
especially when Baby Brain was like easily one of the most hated posters of the last 20 years.
This is by far the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen, period. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's the merchandise this year. I mean, Brian Romero, I'm not a big fan of his artwork. I thought the Monk one was all right. I know some people like this one because of all the hidden meanings. The Lisbon one, not a fan.
That's major discount on 10 Club Shop right now.
I will say this one, the Van Orton design ones, this one was really pretty in person. I've seen this one in person.
Van Orton had a lot of hits this year.
Ian Williams did a pretty good job with this one. That once again, I don't understand these sticker style posters. Not a fan of these at all. So I just feel as though, and then, think about the amount of shit that came out this year. This year, now we have skateboards. Now we have fucking tea towels. Now we have fucking license plates. Then not only that, now we have freaking handkerchiefs, and there's just so much stuff. And I know, and listen, I'm complaining while I'm also buying this shit. I mean, me and Brad had a conversation like 3 hours ago about us both getting our mystery bags, and we both were talking a couple weeks ago about not buying any more shit for the simple fact that we have so much extra Pearl Jam shit. As a matter of fact, I mean, look at this. Hold on a second. Let me unhook my camera. This is where I'm finding shit I don't even realize I own. Hold on. I literally have fucking just an abundance of fucking hats sitting on top of each other, like, everywhere, and I don't even fucking wear them. They're just collecting.
You don't have enough heads for those.
No. Oh, God. And look, I have another hat right there. I just fucking forgot. Oh, there's one over there. Another one. That one. Oh, wait, look. There's this one. This one doesn't even fit my fucking head. Why do
it is pretty absurd.
Right? I mean, they're fucking everywhere. And the thing is, and, for years, oh, God, I keep buying shit. And I do it because I think I have, like, the buyer's remorse. Like, if I don't get it, I'll regret it, right? I don't know why I zoomed in so much, but anyway. They're just putting out too much. And it's, instead of being quality, it's just quantity. And that's the problem I have. And Mr. T-shirt is the biggest problem I have. And I understand that Pearl Jam is loyal to the people they work with and they do things. But for fuck's sake, I miss the days of 5 shirts. You pick a shirt, a hoodie, and sticker. And a poster. That's it. We don't need all this extra shit. I can't afford it anymore. Sorry. Go ahead.
Preach.
Yeah, that's You know, I I waited on a merch line and ended up only getting stickers. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want to go and get posters every single show. I really tried not to. And the one show where there was no line where I could have gotten a poster, now I'm having regrets for it this year, is the MSG show that I went to. As you can see in the background, that Camden one is just kind of like, hey, one of these things not like the other. I wish I could have a full on 2024 display for you guys right here. But
It's funny you
AKA
fucking
DJ Bay.
it's funny you say that. The amount of shit that I literally have on eBay right now, or I've been selling elsewhere. I have sold. I think I told the guys beforehand. I have sold 62 Pearl Jam shirts in the last 30 days, and it has not even fucking dented my closet. As a matter of fact, I was going through my other side of my basement, and I found a box I hadn't opened in probably 6 years, maybe even before, more longer than that, of just Pearl Jam wristbands and stickers I totally fucking forgot I had. Like just sitting in a box.
Send me all your stickers. Send me
No.
all the tour stickers. I'll steal them.
They're all for sale. That's it. I mean, it's even like I have triples of posters. It's just, I'm getting to the point now where it's like, there's things I'm attached to and I have sentimental value for it, but I'm at the point now where it's like I have like the set list in front of me from Baltimore, when me and Brady went in 2013. Like that was cool because Eddie gave that to us. But like, and I have like my 50th show set list that was given to me. Like, there's a lot of cool things, but like, God, like I have handkerchiefs on my wall. Why the fuck do I have handkerchiefs on my wall?
That's a you problem, bro.
I know it is. I know. I hope my wife's not watching this because she's gonna come upstairs. I will go upstairs. She's like, I fucking told you not to buy that shit. That's an impression of my wife, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I would give this tour about 7.8.
All that for that.
Yeah, right. We've really come full circle.
The merch I'd give like a 4.2. This was my least favorite. This was probably my least favorite. It would the merch did not line up with. It was just frustrating. It was very frustrating.
I think they just overproduced this year because there's so many posters that they're like reselling now. Like posters you wouldn't think in years past that were like sold out at the show and then you can't get them. And now this year is like, oh, they're available everywhere and they're reselling them. Not reselling, but they're selling them on PearlJam.com. And like
every Australia show had 2 posters. I thought that was kind of interesting. I get that those are stadium shows, so
maybe that's what it was.
On the same par as like Wrigley or Fenway or something, but
yeah,
still it's a lot.
All right, let's go one more topic because I think this would be good. Because
bring it back home with something happy.
Hour and a half. Well, no, I think it's good. When you, from your personal experiences at the shows, right? Why am I so fucking? This is hold on a second. Give me 1 second. When you're, and there we go. I don't know why I was so zoomed in. It made me look fat. What was your favorite memory going to the shows that you went to that doesn't involve seeing the band?
Ooh.
I know. I sometimes ask tough questions. I'm going to go to Dave first because Dave, the one thing I'll say about Dave, and if you don't know about David, Dave is very much someone that gives back to the community, but also doesn't like put his face in front of things. Like I almost feel as though he's not like, I like the fact he comes on the show and puts his face in front of here, but I'm also surprised he's not wearing a mask, like so that people don't know who Dave is. But I also like that
it's not about me. It's about the band. It's about the stats for me. Like,
so what was?
I'm just like, hey, look at me. Like,
you should. That's what I'm.
I feel like I'm being seen here.
No.
As the one that would be seen as that, but I'm just like, look, I'm saying all those things, and somebody needs to say it, right?
I'm also an introvert. I'm a little quiet. I'm not. Like I try to put myself out there a little bit, and I got these small groups of people, but I'm not like, hey, everybody, like meet me at this, whatever, like Reddy, you do that. You do a great job of that. But me, I'm just like, it's not about me and what I can say and do. Like, I don't, like you guys asked me about my opinion. Like, yes, my opinion, but like I said, I like the numbers, the stats and something that I can say that is hopefully a true and honest fact about the band or whatever. Not like, oh yeah, how many where are they going to play this year? It's all rumor kind of stuff, right? So yeah, it's for this past year. I think the getting together with people, like the small groups and stuff like that, and people you haven't seen, like Brandy, I saw you, the first night of Fenway, and then I saw Matt the next night, and I hadn't seen Matt for like forever. So
Yeah, right.
it was great to see him, and hang out and like how many other people did we hang out with, Randy? Like
A lot of
Aaron
people around
and
us. Yeah.
there was a lot of
Aaron,
people.
Patrick, Steve. Some
Yeah.
people just kind of came in and out.
Ned, yep, yeah.
Yeah, Ned was right. Ned was there. My friend Steven was there.
And
A lot of good
Yeah.
people.
well, I mean, and I think that's a cool thing because I mean, we got to spend some time together in New Jersey, and it was good chatting with you and having a good time. But that it is a big point of. I think that's what makes this band so special is the people that it brings around. But yeah, I'm glad that you were able to enjoy those moments together and get to see some people during your time in Boston. I wish I was there.
Yes, you were sorely missed.
Well, I appreciate that.
Indeed.
I knew I knew you wanted to be there, but
Yeah, that sucked. It sucked big time. I was holding out for like every fucking. It was like 7. I think it was 7 days before. Like I was talking to the person that was selling. I was about to sell the tickets for him. Like I think I'm gonna try to pull it out. And like my body was like every time I went to physical therapy and because of me like the way I was walking and like offsetting the walking and stuff because like one side of my hip was higher than the other from the accident. It was just like I couldn't sit for long periods of time, and I remember sitting like in bed with my wife. I'm like, I think I'm not gonna go, and I think she was even shocked. She's like, "You're not gonna figure this out." I'm like, I just don't think my body's gonna let me, and I would not have had a good time at all. It would have been miserable, and I would have just been in more pain. I think I would have put myself further behind than I was at that point, and it sucked. So, but I really wanted to go and see people, and it sucks when the band's playing like a hometown show and you can't be there for it, and that was tough, but. It is what it is. I was glad that I did get to see Randy in Seattle. That was a magical moment. And
Many magical moments.
and him picking me up like I was getting kidnapped on the right outside of the fucking market was an interesting. In my head, the way I think of it now probably didn't happen. But I just remember like a speed up, get the fuck in the car type deal, and I jumped in and we just sped off. Was an interesting theory, but I still think my favorite moment from the tour, and we'll go to Randy in a minute, but because I know Randy will probably have a much, because he's been to so many shows, probably a really impactful moment. But for me, and it's because I get a lot of messages about this, and especially recently, was waiting in merch and watching Judge Judy, and at one point sitting up, and there was literally a crowd of people around me watching my iPad and watching Judge Judy, so invested in this one case. About a guy stealing artwork from his ex-wife and what was going to happen. And when the case, and people were like, I feel like we were all betting on what was going to happen. It was such a fun moment. And I've had so many people like just reach out to me like, God, I watched Judge Judy now because of that. Like, I'm addicted. I'm like, I'm glad I could bring Judge Judy to the limelight because she deserves her credit. But besides that, it was definitely seeing, what's it called? Eli Roth on the floor and saying, someone says, is that Eli Roth? I'm like, well, unless Eli Roth got fat. And then he walked right past me and shook his head, like acknowledging that it was Eli Roth. And I called Eli Roth fat in Seattle. So that was an interesting one. But beyond that, it was good. Randy, for you?
Well, that Judge Judy moment is on the Seattle Part 2 tour documentary. I'm guessing that's why a lot of people have mentioned, because they probably now seen that and can watch that whenever they want. I got a lot of good memories. I really do. I mean, just the four of us in the car together, just going from landmark to landmark was a hell of a lot of fun. You getting what the Choco Taco from like the sketchy van, and I'm like, oh no, Anthony's gone. He's not coming back because I had never seen an ice cream truck that wasn't a legitimate truck.
Did we
It
ever
was
tell
a
Dave this
fucking
story?
minivan.
It was a minivan. Yeah, it was. We were
Minivan with pictures on it.
Yeah, we were at the Black Hole Sun memorial, and I was I was starving, and I hadn't eaten yet, and I was supposed to go out to eat with Brad and Sam later that evening, and I was just like, I'm like, I gotta get something in my body. I was like fucking fading away, and then I heard the music, and I'm like, I'm gonna get ice cream, and Randy's like, from where? I'm like, oh, that guy's. He's like, are you sure about that? And I'm like, I walk over, and the guy literally has it's a regular like minivan. He had to like hop out of the driver's seat, jump, because the freezer's literally in the middle of the back. He like slides on top of the freezer to get in front of the freezer to open it, digs down through a bunch of, gets a Choco Taco, and he's like, and I'm like,
there were limbs in that freezer.
Oh, he probably does. And then he had like a broken cell phone. He had to do like tap to pay. I'm pretty sure he probably charged him like $17,000. But it was like the sketchiest thing. But it was the most delicious ice cream I have ever had from a sketchy ass van in Seattle.
That's a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of my documentary stuff is gonna start to trickle out very, very soon. Like I said before, the garden one is out right now. I just put that out earlier this week, and I like just watching it over the last course of the last week. Like I just, I get nostalgic. Like I miss that. We just kind of were looking for stuff to do, and Andrew Taylor was like, hey, come meet us at a turntable bar. Turntable bar turned into karaoke, and then karaoke ended up turning into, like 5 people, 6 people were all like, where are you? I'm like, oh yeah, just come here. And they all came. So, Behan was watching this. So Behan was there. And there's a great shot in the documentary of us all about to leave to go to the venue or go to another bar. And we all get in this elevator that's literally about like this big. And there was at least 10 to 12 of us. There was not one spot open. It was, yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
So I'll remember that. Yeah, just like the Philly stuff was very cool. And doing an event on my birthday was a lot of fun with Anthony or Andrew. I think it's Andrew. Who had Andrew, who has the Spectrum S that was from the old Spectrum building, and he came and he brought the S to the bar, and it has all signatures from like artists that performed at the Spectrum, and like his goal has been to get the whole entire band. I think he only has Mike and Jeff right now, so like that was something that we talked about. And like that was a lot of fun to me. And I've been very fortunate to have had 3 years in a row where I've been out on tour for my birthday.
That's
and cool. Yeah, like they just seem to want to go out at that time. So I've been fortunate enough to be out and be able to celebrate. I'm sure people are just like, really? We're going to celebrate Randy's birthday again? But,
Hey, you got to take it while you can take it.
But,
all right. Well, listen, I got to go stuff a turkey. It's that time, and it's getting late. But I will say this: it's been great catching up with you all. I know we've chatted and text, but we really haven't talked on the phone in a long time. So
true.
It's been good. I think we should maybe come up with some clever ideas. I like the idea of us talking about best show, set list with poster, and kind of bring it in together.
It's cool.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Let's not count shows like a Wrigley or a PJ20 that had multiple posters that were like massive shows anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And then also,
you need one show to define one poster to define one show.
Yeah, I agree with you. One poster to define them all. And then also, someone texted me, you should post a challenge on social media for people to come up with the best run of songs using songs that start with the letters in their name. So Randy would have to do Randy and then have to come up with the best way of opening a show with those letters. So like rats, animal, N. Oh God.
Nothing Man.
Retrograde to open.
D, Dissident, then Yellow Ledbetter. Okay, I just fixed it. All right, well, listen.
It's a mini set right there.
That is a mini set. Dave, Dissident, Animal. Ooh, V.
V. There is a V. I know there's a V somewhere.
V. Oh, shit. All right, well, if you go to livefootsteps.org and go to songs, and you scroll right on down to V, you can see that there is
only Voodoo Child.
Oh, God.
E with even.
They've only done that as a tag once.
Well, that's right. And then I would be, well, let's say I have a lot of options. I could do Alone, Nothing Man. I don't know. This is getting out of control now. Anyway, all right. Until next time, I'm Anthony. That's Dave. That's Randy.
Hey.
And you just been destined to remembered.
And what you get is what you don't